Okay, so we have done with
I had, yeah,
yeah.
yes, I had a few queries. So, can you go to page number 8 of long coding?
Okay.
That's this is chapter 1.
Which chapter?
Chapter 1.
Okay.
Chapter 1, page number 3. 1 point.
Yeah. Which page
Yeah, yeah,
number? Here.
yeah, yeah, 1 point. Page number 8. 6,
Mm,
7, 8. 8.
okay. Here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, over here it is written, if can you go slightly down,
Mm-hmm.
where is the second paragraph, the good news. So over there it is written that say SAS dataset contains two parts, a descriptor portion and data portion. So what is descriptor data?
Yeah. So now today we are going to discuss that only. What is data portion? What is descriptor portions? Okay. So you
Okay.
are clear with your
And then okay,
blackboard. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then also at very so when you say the output window, so
Mhm.
hardly using any proc statements, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, so viewable tables करनी हो जाती है.
Yeah. 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 So whenever.
Yeah, and my like yeah, yeah, please.
Yeah. Tell me.
Yeah, so that was my question.
Okay.
Another question is in one page, कितने titles do you like,
Hmm.
not more than 4?
So ideally what happened when you create your data steps, you get the data like this, correct? So this is what we are doing. We are going inside the library and clicking it, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But suddenly, sometime if you won't like to do it and you wanted to get the output into output window, you can write proc print data
yeah,
is equal to the SAS user dot admit. And here you have options to you can see as per how many variable you wanted to see. So here
yeah, yeah, yeah.
let's suppose I'm not interested to look at all those variables. I can write where and I can mention is the variable name, which variable I want to look. Let's say
Okay.
I'm only interested for name and sex, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I can go ahead and write it name and sex. So I'll be getting output regarding that only. Getting it? If sometime people says, okay, just do me a filter for that. So okay, I can go ahead and do a filter over here. I can write where sex is equal to only male I'm looking at. Getting it? So these people related to male. So you can play with around your data. Okay. So this generally talks about what is there in a data. Okay. So ideally it happen. Okay. And when you talk about data portion, so that was query which you have mentioned. And one is a descriptor portion. So for data portion, we always use data new. We can use proc print data equal to SAS user dot admit.
Hello, hello.
Correct?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah. And we can use variable all six. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking.
So this, whenever you use anything related to your proc, so ideally you talk about to get to know about what is there in a data. Okay. And if
Yeah,
you talk about descriptor portion, so we use proc content to get to know about the data.
okay.
So when you say, I just wanted to know about something about this particular data set, okay. So ideally what we do over here, so we just try to execute this. So if you try to execute and you just run this query, this will give you the information about the data set when it's got created. Okay, ideally it's talk about how
Okay.
many observation you are going to get into the particular data set, correct? And
Yeah, yeah,
what is
yeah.
see this generally talks about what is the data label, what type of variables we have, what is the type of variables, what is the length of the variables. Either we use format or not, it described you everything. Same we do
Okay.
for anywhere anything related like this. When you go to property of any folder, you have this much information.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Same does by proc content, because why it is important. Okay, when you have a data, okay, and you're trying to do something manipulation or something related to that, or data cleaning or something. So someone says, okay, I gave you a file which contains of 100 rows. So you cannot go ahead and start working out. So generally what I do, I run a proc content. So I'll get to know how many observation are there. Okay, and I'll get to know how many rows are there. I'll able to know from here itself. So no need to worry about that. So I can get it from here. Smith, are you able to hear me? Hello. Okay, so when you try to execute this, what happens? See, let's see. Now you will get to know how many data sets are there into particular folder. Let's see. Now go to top and have a look. Now let's talk about in a particular folder. So my folder is SAS user. In a SAS user, I may have different type of data sets or a data files. So we have a total number of variable is 98. Okay. Is there any problem with the internet from your side or my side? So ideally what happened over here when you executed this particular query, so you'll get lots of detail about your output. So you are getting that in
Okay.
SAS user. So basically this SAS user, how many file it contains. Okay, so generally it
Okay.
will be 98 files and it will give you a detail about
Okay.
each files. So ideally once we get a folder, we try to get the information
Oh,
about the file so that we can work very efficiently. So if someone says, okay, I gave you a file, there could be 1,000 of rows. So we cannot go ahead and start working it. If there is no thousand of row, what will happen? Your entire query which you build to execute for that particular file, it will be waste. So check your proc content, get to know about data, then start working on it.
okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here we have again, we have showed you, if you know that this much file is available, I just wanted to know about only the particular file, you can go ahead to know about this. So you can copy this from here, control C, paste it after here. It is very useful whenever I use always.
Okay.
It helped me a lot sometime. So now if
Okay.
I wanted to know about only this data set, I can get to know about that.
Right.
So if someone says, okay, there is a format issue, just change it. So I'll look for the format. If it is not matching, if they wanted to new format, I'll apply for new format. Correct.
Right. Right.
So here we have mini queries. This is all related to your, this is for all, okay, all information about your library. Correct.
By the way, just a quick query. So, like I had shared this piece with you that my client wants that segmentation and basic cross tab integration. So, if you were to say a tentative timeline for that, what can be that? Because he just wants to bring work into the pipeline. So he just bring wants to be. He was just curious.
Okay, okay. So you said just now you shared something or what?
No, no, no. I haven't shared something with you. No, I haven't shared anything with you.
So what was the, see,
Do
deadline?
you?
We can fix the deadline when we'll able to know like how we can proceed the classes so that you'll able to cop up that and you're able to execute it.
Okay. Mhm.
Correct,
So
because
you want the samples as well, the
yeah,
basic
yeah,
samples.
that is required now.
Okay. Okay.
So that we are, and you should
Okay.
write what will be the outcome. And see later whatever the changes is coming, you are able to do it because as you know that how to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Getting
yeah.
it?
Right. Okay. Okay. Sure. 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 Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure. Got it.
So now this generally talks about when you get to know about only a single file. Okay.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
generally what happen here, if you see, sometime I want, if there is a number of variables, correct? I just wanted to get the information about the variables, nothing else. So I can use the same query and write it below and use the keyword called position short. So what will happen if you're going to execute this file? You'll only get to know about how many variables are available into this particular file. Okay. Oh,
Preserve my speed. Yeah.
okay, 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 okay. So here we just talked about. So if you wanted to get to know about how many variable is there, you will get to know about this keyword called position short. Why it is important like to execute like that? Let's say you wanted to create new more variables while including of only few variables. So later on, this particular query I can use for my later help where I can say data new set from particular and I can say that keep only few variables. I don't want to include all those variables. So what we are trying to do it over here, we are just only using those variables to create my new data set for my later calculation part. If you keep it and save it over here, and now if you try to execute, the file which you get called new will consist of only these files. Getting it? So this will help you to So there is a two keyword which we use. One is keep. One we used is drop. So this is used to include and this is used to exclude. Correct.
Okay.
So if you wanted to include anything, you can use it. Keep. So instead of keep, what will happen? Keep I'm using. And if I use drop, so these are the variable is going to drop, rest will be remain same.
Okay. What was the use of position short?
So position sort will give you that how many variables are there
Okay, okay, okay.
in a
Name
in
of all, basically all.
yeah, name of a variable in a sequence. So that what will happen later part, you can use this to copy and paste to create new data set, use
Okay,
for filtration, all
okay,
those things.
okay, okay. Got
Okay.
it. Yeah.
So sometime what happened na, if you knew that variable, but what happened you had did a spelling mistake. So either ways, go and look your variable's name and just copy and paste it. That is a safer side. Because
Yeah.
sometime what happened instead of writing, let's say city, you have put it as a dot. So that might be a issue for that whole program. Keep on checking it. You're not able to find out the error. Where is that? Getting it? And one more is there in this. We used called Varnam. So if you try, if you copy and if you paste, delete this. So these are the keywords will help you to understand your data. Now, if you execute this, go and have a look over here. The variable name which you are getting in a sequence order. Sequence in the sense, the way it is arranged in your particular folder, a particular file, correct? But ideally, when we have executed the earlier code, we were not able to get it. We are able to get it into a alphabetical order. So that won't serve my purpose. So as this is into a proper order, so here there's no problem. But if you look another data set, then you will be having a problem. Let's say I'm looking for habit. If I'm trying to execute this, now see the sequence of a variable, you're getting 8 as act label as 8, this sequence. But ideally for me, a bit difficult to understand which is first, which is second, which is third, correct? For that, we can use this particular Varnam keyword, which will give you the sequence order.
Okay, okay.
We are getting into sequence order. So I don't want to be in very bit difficult because if you see, I almost of use of 59 to 60 variables together in a one data set. I'm using it 59 variables. So it's bit difficult to look at for all. So if you know sequence, through the sequence you will get to know where it's available, and you can apply whatever you want to apply. Correct.
Yeah. Got
So this is black box which we have gone through. Okay, how SAS reads all the program.
one query which I had, so when we are writing in-file statements,
Mm-hmm.
or the address which we are writing, so at times we use double quotes, at times we use single quotes, so we can use any one, right?
So see, when you're not into a part of a macro, okay, if you're not at a part of a macro, SAS macro, then you can use anything. Either you can use single quotes or double quote, correct? But if you're a part of a macro, if you're defining macro, then there is a double quote. Single quote won't work in macro, but in data types it works.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Now
Yeah, and
here,
one, one query. So, for example, if I am using cards, okay, in a program, and the data which is being inputted, I उसमें जो delimiter है वो comma है, for example. So
Mhm.
if I want to use DHA or DLM, तो in-file, for example, in-file cards भी नहीं लिखता है. वो DLM, DLS वो उसी के साथ आता है कि वो otherwise
हाँ,
लिखना
उसी के साथ लिखे, क्योंकि क्या होता है ना,
है? Okay, okay,
अब
okay.
अब यहाँ पे ये जो सेक्शन है, हम लोग एक्चुअली क्या है ना, कोड को शॉर्टकट करने के लिए नहीं यूज करते हैं. सो डेटा न्यू,
Okay.
always you should write. I said na,
Okay.
there is a place where all data available. You need to fetch from your data set, correct?
Right.
So आपको जो भी clean करना है, you need to clean on the particular section only. अब
Okay,
वो
okay.
डेटा बुला के नहीं क्लीन कर सकते आप. फंक्शन ऑर्गेनाइज कर लिया, सबको अंदर बुला के आप सबको बोल रहे हो कि नहीं नहीं ये मेन्यू ऐसा था, वो मेन्यू ऐसा था, they won't believe it.
Okay.
Getting it?
Right.
You need to clean the data before getting into that. So cleaning will
Okay.
happen in this section.
Okay.
So why we are writing cards? So that we are giving instruction to the card section. Getting it? So card will be available after input, correct?
Right.
So we are just trying to clean the data by using over here. So card in-file cards instruction goes to the particular card section only,
Okay.
correct? And they clean
Yeah.
whatever they wanted to clean, and they can go ahead and proceed it.
Okay.
Okay. So we generally talks about creating a permanent data set, correct?
Yeah.
Library, then creating a formats and labels. We will talk about that. Reading an Excel. So generally what happened, we just that day we was talking about, correct? DBMS. So database management system, we have different type of databases we are trying to read. So we talked about proc import and export, correct? So which will help you to import different type of files. I'll share you today the how
Yeah.
importing is happening with different type of files.
Okay.
I'll be sharing you SAS files, all those files, and try to import it.
Okay.
Okay. So we have not talked about your label rename. Okay, length we already talked, but we'll cover it. Okay, and keep and drop over, keep and drop. Then you have OPS, then first OPS. So generally we'll start finishing of this first. This is a small topic, you can go ahead and finish it for all the six. Okay, so generally when you talk about this label is nothing but sub name of a variables, correct? And label could be the maximum you can use it 256 character.
Okay.
Okay, and no rules follow. No rules are there as we use for SAS name, correct? Underscore special character is not allowed. These are the rule not followed over here. Okay, always use quotes, this symbol. Okay, to define your label name. So here you whatever you define, this become label. Okay, the general syntax for this is you can use, okay, label as a keyword. Okay, and for which variable you want to apply, keep a variable name equal to, then put it what you wanted it is. Define your label. So label is not a part of a file. See, you cannot give instruction to the label like label into 2, label into 5. Correct. Calculation only happen for a variable name, not for a label name. So generally, if you look, okay. So now we already have a data set called new. Okay, we'll take it as help.
So we have age, correct? In this age, so you are able to see this section. Okay, in this section you're able to see there is a name and label, correct?
Yeah.
So when you see name and label, so label is not present. If I'm writing something EMPLOY, I can define a label name over here. So if you keep apply label name appear over here, but this is a temporary label name. So when you close your data set and open it, you'll not able to see it, correct? But if you try to make it a permanent, you need to define in your program. So what I can do now, data new underscore with label I'm creating, set SAS user dot 8-bit. So the syntax is label, for which variable you want to apply. You need to choose its variable name. So let's say I'm using it for age. Okay, so I'll go ahead and write age equal to EMPLOY age. So maximum size you can keep for your label as to 256. But when you go and look at the back end, there's no change happen for your variable name, correct?
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. So this is only for just display, nothing use at all. But sometime if you wanted to change your name of variables, so you can use the keyword called rename. So I can use it rename over here. Same syntax goes like for rename as rename, then keep the name of a variable, and you should not put into quotes because you are changing a name of a variable which should follow the SAS naming convention rule, correct? So I
Okay.
can write employee underscore name. Getting it?
Okay.
So
Okay.
there we have a freedom because here this the renaming variable you're gonna use for a calculation purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Getting
Okay.
it?
Yeah. Okay. Right.
So here I can rename this, rename age equal to emp underscore age. Go and look. You'll able to see the employee age, but when you go and look at the back end, you have employee age as a name of
Okay.
person. And later you can apply
Right.
the condition based on that. If I wanted to know if any calculation to be happen where you cannot write age now.
Okay. I need to write employee underscore age.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
You wrote age underscore age.
yeah, I'll change it. 27.
So Ravi, if I use prop print, तो prop print में label वाला नाम आएगा कि
नहीं आएगा because when you say data portion, so this is not a part of a data portion.
okay.
Getting it? So now if I go and
Prop print will put me employee age, employee
yeah,
underscore age.
yeah.
Okay, got it. So label is basically just for output window and view table type.
Wait, just me. I think. Okay, so what is happening
Okay.
here? So you are in processing.
Okay.
You still in processing,
Mm-hmm.
so that you won't able to do it calculation on the particular part. See, even though you're getting name, employee name, age, but
Mm-hmm.
this full query is happening in processing. So you cannot apply a filter on this emph.
No, I didn't got your point.
See, you are still in processing. Processing, you cannot apply this condition. Processing in a,
When can I apply this condition?
after the data set is got created. Now you have to remove this. Okay, and then below you need to write one more query, and you can say set new lab. Okay, data new 7. Now if I'm going to write, it will work. Now just go and execute this. Now here you use emp underscore h. Now it will work. Getting it?
Okay.
Because
Okay,
that
got
was
it.
happening in processing. Processing, you
Okay,
cannot go
okay,
and
okay, okay.
filters.
Acha, right. Okay, got it.
You
That's
have to
simple.
use their old memory only.
Okay, yeah, got it. Boom, yeah, right. Actually, one more thing. So, what is this set thing? I mean, set keyword.
Okay. Set is generally used to refer. It is used to refer from existing data set.
Okay. So,
So
SAS user is a library name and admit is a table. Over
yeah.
there.
So there's a two
Okay.
concept we have here learned now: permanent library and temporary library. Where we say
Yeah. Work is temporary, right? That I know.
yeah.
Got it.
So if I'm not writing this, it means we are going to get from one.
Temporary.
But if it is not available, say that file is not available.
Yeah. Got it.
Got it?
Admit. Okay.
Okay. So again, we have this keep and drop. Length we have already studied in earlier one. So length is
Yeah.
to increase the size of that particular variable. How much is going to store? Correct? Then keep and drop. So
Drop.
just
Yeah, we covered this.
so now we have first OBS and OBS. Now generally what happened in this, okay, so if you look bigger amount of data set called airports. So I wanted to record this only, I have to get this 10 observations and for my further calculation or something else. So
Okay.
generally I can go ahead and write for data new 78 set is used to refer. So SAS user dot airports.
Okay.
Now, how many observation you wanted to take only from a old one? We can
First
say,
10.
oops, we can say 10. What
Okay.
happened? It will take only 10.
So 11 to 20 11 slash 11 space 11 hash 20.
Okay, now what will happen if you wanted to change the position? So we have
Okay.
option called first OBS.
Okay.
So first OBS says as from where you wanted to start.
Acha. Okay.
So same thing, I'll copy here, copy this, and I'll paste it over here. So I'll say, okay, I wanted to change my mind. So I wanted to read from particular position from, let's say from 20th position. I'll say my 20th position. So I should go with how many? So you said, okay, I must go with 32. So I can change it my pointer to 32. So I'll get only the record related to that. Getting it?
Yeah.
So this generally talks about first or obvious. This we use it. Okay. Now if you go ahead, you learned about. So these 3 chapters we have learned. till here, correct? Permanent creating. Now this next chapter we're talking about format and labels, which is in details. Now if you go ahead in the second chapters, we have already covered this input method, all those DSD, DLM, correct? CV,
Yeah,
Raven.
I agree.
But you need to complete this all exercise by hook.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Acha, Ravi, one more thing. So I
Yeah.
was reading about this simple column method, and over there, on one of the pages, it was written the format simple column method cannot take special characters, for example dollar and comma. लेकिन मैं जब cards वाली file से ले रहा था तो वो उसने वो dollar sign ले लिया. So is it like text file outside से वो ले रहा है तो वो dollar
outside
वो
से.
नहीं लेगा?
Yeah, outside से, इसीलिए.
क्योंकि ओके राइट, क्योंकि मुझे कंफ्यूजन थी, तो मैंने कहा यार कार्ड्स में से तो ले लिया उसने.
Okay, so we have completed this one. Okay, you should complete the exercise. There's so many questions.
Yeah, we have completed. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So this is just now we have talked about. This is creating a lib name, library name. So in the first day we have talked about, correct, to create the library name for while using a statement called lib name. Correct, remember it. So we have used while this, correct. Day 2 and creating a let's say. But generally when we use when we go to the client system and use that, fine, because when you close your SAS system and restart, whatever the location you use for creating this particular library won't be visible to anyone.
Okay.
But the permanent library which you're creating from here, that will be visible when you close your system, when you on it. So you have option from here also to create your library, permanent library. I can write it day 5. So if I check this option, it says enable at startup. So each and every time if you're closing your application and opening it, this file will remain same over there. This location will remain same over there. Okay. But in the case of lib name, when you close your system and when you open it, you won't able to find this day availability.
Then to sort of there is no point. So I should ideally create permanent only.
No. But let's say you are in a client place or some friend system place. You are working somewhere. Okay. What will happen if you leave that particular location? He may delete it. Why? You have rights.
Okay.
He know your server location. So why to show them?
Right.
In that case, you should.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Ideally, I do like that. If I go and work on another system, so ideally create a library. So they'll not able to know that from where I access my file.
Okay, and I create a permanent library by the graphical base.
Yeah, see,
right click.
that is still available now. See.
Yeah.
They got disappeared.
Right. So when I am working on my system, this is the best approach to create permanent libraries.
My system, you can find out a number of library will be there. I create the library based on day 1, day 2. I create because it is important.
Got it. Yeah.
Today's work, what we have did it now. Okay.
Yeah. And so Ravi, when you say you have created this day 5, अच्छा वो location वहाँ पे है, ठीक है. You need to specify the location, ठीक है. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
So this is generally talks about that. Creating a permanent, you already knew that how we create the permanent. So we generally talk about pro content, what it gives, descriptor portion, details. See, again related to Vernum, again related to prop. No, this is generally talks about when you have n number of data set, correct, in a particular folder, and you wanted to get to know about the list of a name of a file. So generally someone send me a file folder, okay, and I just wanted to know how many files are there. Is that particular file are available or not? You can, if you have 200 files, you cannot go ahead and check. Okay, what are the file is there? You start checking it. So it will take time for you. So I generally won't do like that. I directly said, okay, proc content the data is equal to SNS user dot, you can say all check. So we, okay, NODS. Okay, now if I go execute, you won't get the detail about your data set, but you will get to know how many data set is there.
Right, right.
Now you can pick it from here and you can do whatever you wanted to do. Now you
Okay.
go ahead and do a second steps where you wanted to find the detail about data set. So I can copy from here, then I'll go for next steps. Okay, he said there will be 100 observations. So now I'll go and check, is there any 100 observation or not? So you can do step by step. So directly I can go here. I can take this particular key code. I can put it over there and simply use run. So now you'll able to know something is there or not. Now see, you'll able to know.
Yeah.
So now we'll compare it. What he said, that is it. If you said okay, you just go and look the rep type, that will be in character. So we go ahead and check the character type. Correct. Oh, yeah, hello. Yeah, yeah. There's some work is going on, that's why. Okay. So now we are able to get to know and what he said to me, like, is there any label? And if you wanted to change the label, you can get to know about from here. You can copy from here and you can change the label again back if you wanted to change it. So, you know, most of the time, almost time we spend only on data cleaning. See, using analytics is only a 10 minutes or 1 hour job because that is ready.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, right, right. We just need to call that thing. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Got it.
So now we just went to Node.js. Okay. It will give you details. This is they talked about what is library, what is all those things, how to select library, right click, check the data set. And same detail you can get it over here also when you go and select any data set. So now this will give you same details. So you can have password protected data set, which only used by you only if you are keeping the password. Okay, so these are the things you can do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I learned from basics to high, so that's why I always interested to learn any programming language or anything from scratch to high, not to only for a usability purpose. Something should be in hand as a strong. So this is talk about data null. Okay. So generally, why we use this concept when you have large amount of data set and you don't want to create or
Yeah. Right.
use your physical memory. Okay, data underscore null. So basically, why we use this null when you have bigger amount of a data set and you wanted to do some calculation for a checking purposes, then you can go ahead and create a data set. Then for that purposes, you can use this particular one. Let's say SAS user dot admit. Then I want to know where sex is equal to male. Then execute. Now it is not going to display anything anywhere. Now see, it's saying you're able to execute the program and there will be a 10 observations. But you go and find out there will be no dataset created anywhere. Getting it? So now if you wanted to see in a log window, which is your logical file, put underscore all underscore. Now you go and see. Now it's showing you how many observation is going to be outputted when you say sex is equal to female. It's showing you the observation number wise from where it's going to be filtered out. Getting it? Hello. Hello.
Got it.
Got it? And this is again, if you wanted to extract this file into your output file, you can write file. If you wanted to look it into your output window, so I can write file print. Now this will displaying into your output window. Let's say I wanted to extract this, so I can say okay, file is equal to where you wanted to extract. Let's say I want to extract over here to send to someone. So I can use this as dot txt. Now go ahead and see that file is got up as that is on the file. See, now we're able to look at this new text. Sometimes I don't want this particular messages to be appeared while extracting it, so I can hide this also. So where I can say okay, I want to get information only about ID and sex. Go ahead and execute this. Getting it? Yeah. So this will generally help you to take decisions, okay, and without occupying the physical memory.
Yeah.
Getting it? So you can extract and send it to your clients or someone else. Okay, these are the output we'll get when you extract this file like. Okay, you can put any calculation.
Yeah. Right.
So we are not using it at any cost as physical memory now with the help of this null statements. So that's why I said you can use the dataset null for this application. Reserve the dataset name null. Tell us not to create any dataset. It enables you to process observation from an existing dataset without overheaded and creating a new dataset.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are the options we covered into this particular chapter. Put is used to display into your log.
Put is used to. Sorry, what is how do you? What is the usage of put?
Yeah, see, earlier also we have used put in PDV, correct? Remember?
Yeah. Put
So
ID.
put is used to display into a log, and it is a logical memory. When you wanted to see anything related to logics, to check your logic into log window, you can use the put options. Put will help you to showcase in your log.
Okay. So
When
log window में otherwise वो नहीं आएगा, right? Something like that.
नहीं अभी अब नहीं आएगा क्योंकि आपने यहाँ पे एक्सट्रैक्ट कर लिया है. जब ये सेक्शन नहीं होगा आपके पास में, then you will able to.
So can you show it to me?
Getting it?
कौन सा है? Which section is that? ये 2 4. अच्छा, okay, M. Okay, right. अच्छा.
So now what happen if you are using this, you're directly saying, okay, I opened a file, okay, text, save something there itself. If you remove this, it means directly you're saying, okay, where else here? That will be a log. And if you have this option, it will be saying you open a text, and text you are keep saving it.
Okay.
Getting it? And here if you can write only file print, so it means you are using this output window. See, you're using
right.
So it's just about to understand. And here you can do any calculation which you wanted to do it.
So okay, sorry, I just missed it. I think so. When I use file print, even then put function will not display its content in the log.
Yeah, because, yeah.
Okay,
because
got it.
you are giving instruction to print into output window. If
right,
this is not available, then by defaultly it is going to be published into log.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay.
So this was the last concept in this particular chapter. So that was fourth chapter. You need to complete and send me this.
Okay, all 4 chapters.
Yeah. Okay. You should not delay.
Sure.
You should keep doing it.
Okay,
Please.
sure. So sure.
Why I'm telling now, what will happen now? My every person mind always tells, okay, whatever someone teaching and whatever you're observing it, your mind is accepting it only on particular time. But suddenly something
so
comes.
I'm revising. Yeah. So I'm revising every day because these things are like something if you don't revise you will tend to forget. So I'm revising every day, but exercises today I did it on my pages and all because I was able to, but I'll send it across in a SAS file.
Okay. Do it by SAS and send me the datasets or SAS file. Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
And this is a chapter which we are going to talk about format. Remember last time we were talking about format.
Yeah. Format. Yeah.
So now we have options to create a user-defined format. So now you have a choice to create.
Okay. Got it.
Getting it?
Yeah.
So why it is useful?
Yeah.
Sometime what happen if you want to categorize your data based on, let's say, age group. So how you'll do it? Either you can tell it in a SAS that if age between between one more extra KMC between 10 and 20, correct? Then make it as age group as, let's say, young y. Correct. So each and every time you have to create like this. So by default, if you create the format, so format is used to what? It is used to display. Correct. So if I create the format and say range between, if fall between 20, you should keep it as yes. If it is fall between 20 to 30, you should keep it as something what old. So you are creating this format and saving somewhere, and wherever it required, it apply for your particular data set. So remember the example, I can quote it about the restaurant. Okay. So another name of your format is called catalog.
Okay.
So catalog is what? When you go to, let's say you're going restaurants with your friends. Let's say in your data, let's say your friends' data. So there's 10 friends are there. One friend doesn't like non-veg items, and you went to a non-veg shop. So what happened? They showed you a menu card. Correct. So according to the menu card, you are ordered something. If it is not matching, what will happen? You won't eat.
Yeah.
So the catalog shows that it is for entire population. So whatever the people is coming at, they are showing only that particular menu card. They don't have any other menu card. Correct. In that menu card, if it is applicable, you get this ordered. If not applicable, you won't get this order. So now suppose this particular things over here, which we say SAS help. These are admit where went. Okay, admit. I went into SAS help. Okay. Let's say this is my data and these are all your friends. Correct. So if I'm creating the format and we're saying if age is equal to 27, it should be young. If 22, it should be young, and 43 young. So what will happen? You are only able to see Y as a keyword only for those particular value. Getting it? For rest, you aren't able to see. So now later we can categorize it. Yes means it could include of 27, 22, and 43. Getting it? So now this chapter generally talks about that.
Yeah.
So if you are SAS producing a list or listing and report. So report you need to customize it. You cannot show the all different type of ages. Now let's say you are making a segment. So segment what does? It have options. Okay, let's say I created 4 segment of age group, and where I said okay, age segment of let's say fall between 10 to 20, how many is there? 20 30, how many is there? 24 30 40, how many is there? So to capture that type of data, we create this format. Okay, so we say that okay, if a age value fall between this to this, I'll okay, it should display like this. Getting it? So that format you can create it earlier, and whenever is required, you can apply it. So now see these questions below. So this is your data, raw data. Now I don't know what is 1, what is 2, what is 3, what is 4. So when you have any feedback session, so you have option strongly agree, strongly disagree. So and below there will be option called only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correct. So people won't interested to write strongly agree as a keyword. They will capture the data like that, and whenever it is required to convert for a management to showcase it, because management won't knowing about that what is 1, what is 2, what is 3. That is a data collection methodology. Okay, and data display something different. So what we does, we will keep ready the format. Now this see, now we created the format. If any data in your particular gender, if you're finding male, should display as male.
Okay.
Remember one thing, earlier we have studied about date 07/07/2015, correct?
Yeah.
So that is called in format, correct? To read like that. If you want to display into a date 9, what happened? We get this 01/07 Jan something. So that is a display purpose. So here we are creating your own format, and whenever you require, you can require it. See, now we are keeping the name of format as $gender. So what I can do,
Okay.
wherever I want to apply, I can use, let's say for format gender $gender dot.
Okay, got it.
So this is user defined format, because usually in my case I have almost 20-25 formats to normalize the data, and
And
later I can
is there a naming convention for naming the name of format?
yeah. So when you have numeric, you should not include dollar. So remember
Got
when
it.
we are using a date format, okay, DDMMY, have you used any dollar?
Yeah.
Okay, so we use like that. We can see for this is for your numeric, this is for character,
Okay.
and syntax is very simple. So you can create by proc format, okay, close the brackets, assign the value. So before assigning it, keep the name of a format, either one for
Okay.
character you can write include with dollar. So new, and this is for your numeric, correct? And
Yeah.
assign the value. If it is character, you always knew that value always will be in quotes.
Yeah. Right.
So let's say I'm defining for male. So again, if you want it to display into a character itself, so you have to display as female. And if you want to display male as 1, you can write it. So now whenever you're going to get this value, you'll be getting it into 1 and 2. Close it and run. Now if you execute this format, you won't able to see into data set. Now you go and see work, there will be a particular block created, and new is the name of a format. But if you try to click, you won't able to get this format details.
Yeah.
To get this format details, we have another options to check. So we say as format proc format fmtli.
Okay. Got it. Format lib. Or so we'll mention the name of the library. कहाँ पे है वो?
Yeah. So work fmtlib proc format. Okay, this will go lib is equal to fmtlib. Now able to see. Now I say for a female you use the option called 2, for a male you use the option called 1, and this is showing you what is the name of a format is new dollar new. What is the length is 1, number of values 2 assigned, minimum is 1,
Right.
maximum is 40. Getting it? And it's got created, they can use it. Now if this format I need to apply, what I can do, okay, data new 5 set SAS user dot atmit admit, where I want to apply format sex is equal to dollar new dot.
Okay, Ravi, just a quick query. So अगर DSM या DSD यूज होगा तो अब सेट के साथ यूज होगा, right?
DSD तो यूज नहीं होगा, DSD
नहीं, in case अगर यूज होना पड़ रहा हो तो in case.
नहीं सेट में तो कभी DSD यूज ही नहीं होगा.
Oh, okay.
यूज नहीं होगा. Now you go and check, new is not got created, so there is a problem with admit somewhere.
अच्छा, okay. So in that case, if I really want to use, I should use the word in file or पूरा address.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Format.
Now it should work. Yeah. not created. We have not executed.
केस सेंसिटिव तो नहीं होता इसमें अभी न्यू वो कैपिटल एन है उसमें स्मॉल एन
हाँ केस सेंसिटिव नहीं होता.
ओके ओके इट इज नॉट केस
Now it's got created with 21 observation. Now this has got converted. See.
yeah got it.
That's why I was thinking it where it went.
Okay.
Okay, and this data types remain same as character. It is not going to change. Okay. So if you go look over here, they are doing same like that, and see till here, they are applying now. See, they are applying everywhere else with gender, age, like card, and dollar. Now, if you see the output has got changed for earlier example. And later I can write the proc frequency and get to know how many less than age 30.
Okay.
So if I, yeah.
Yeah, so for example, एक मैं चीज कर रहा था कि so for example, if there is this variable in the name of salary and it is like 76,000 dot 00, so decimal places last two places तक है. So there are two options. So if the salary is 76,000 and I put it as dollar 10.2, so 70,000 dot 00 आएगा, right? अब लेट अस सपोज बाय डिफॉल्ट ही डेटा में 76,000.00 है, सो वो डिस्प्ले करने के लिए भी $11.2 लिखना पड़ेगा.
Yes, correct. Okay. You have to use the maximum number then dot. So count the maximum number then put dot.
हाँ right, count the maximum number. Yeah, count the maximum. हम वो 10 में ऐसे randomly बोल रहे हैं.
Actually पहले लोग को यूज करते थे, जैसे ये है .22 लिखा हुआ है, लोग इसको काउंट करते थे ये कितना है. लेट्स से ये 5 है, लोग यूज करते थे DOLLA या डॉलर 5.2. दिस इज नॉट, वो 5 के अंदर 2 लगाएगा. अभी पूरा काउंट करना है, 13 के अंदर 2 खोजना है.
अच्छा एक मिनट, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 but these are 9, right?
Okay then I have counted from here, so this should go here, then it will be 9. Yeah.
Okay, so it should be $9. Acha. Okay.
Point.
Got it.
So it will come as that. Okay.
Got it. Okay, yeah.
So this is something in same example. This is for your same format they are using in a different way. Set till here. Now this is something new where we save. So now each and every time you create the format, okay, or create the format for one time and you apply for many times whenever the data comes like that. So you might be saving this format into a permanent library. Now when we execute that, we got this format into a work library. So what will happen if I am closing my system and opening it, my format will go off. Correct. So in this case, you can use lib functions to assign this format into a particular library. Let's say I'll keep this into A5. Now my format is got saved into a day5. You see. Correct. Now if I'm trying to execute, if I say, let's say I delete this particular format, and if I'm trying to execute this, I won't get this format. So there is a message pop-up in below which says as the format new was not found or could not be loaded. Correct. So what we can do now, as we know that format, our default behavior is to search a format only from a work library. which need to be changed to search from a different library. Correct? So what we can do, we can go ahead and change the behavior of looking a format. So I can say options FMTSEARCH format search could used for my day 5. So now if I'm going to execute and if I'm going to run this now, I won't get any error. Getting it? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah. So we does like that. Now what will happen whenever you require your format to be executed? You execute it. Okay. So now we have done with this 5th chapter. You need to send me all those exercises.
Okay.
And if you have any doubt, either start to. So tomorrow is a holiday.
No, for me Tuesday is a holiday.
Okay. For me 14 and 15 too.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So finish of this till 5 chapter. Okay. Because after 5 chapter there will be a if statement coming up.
Yeah.
Your conditional, all those things, converting a data set. This is
Oh,
this 6th is already done.
yeah. Right. This was importing and all. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll assign the test. Okay. So whenever you get
Okay.
time in between this week, you can have this test.
Okay. Sure.
Question will be based on 1 to 6.
Okay. Sure.
Passing will be 70% of 6. Okay. That will be mentioned in your examinations.
Okay. Sure.
Okay then. Okay. We'll
Okay.
read this particular file.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.